Hey guys, welcome back to the Next Rank YouTube channel. It's Ronnie and Jack, and today we're going to be telling you our best ground game offensive mechanics for each rank. So if you're to pick one thing to get good at, or if you want to pick one thing to add to your game, each rank, we're going to tell you what to do. All about the ground game. We made an aerial version of this, aerial game mechanics, so you can check that out if you haven't already after you watch this video. But today's going to be all about the ground game. Jack's going to be a free play demonstrating these because you can practice the vast majority of your ground game in free play. It's a great way to do it. So we're going to go from bronze to SSL. So let's just get straight to it. In bronze, kind of similar to our aerial video, we're recommending just dodging into the ball. Yeah. And this is something that a lot of you who have been through bronze will relate to. But if you've got somebody you're trying to get into the game, I'm sure a lot of you tell them to do this as well. Just flip when you reach the ball, because it makes your hitbox bigger, makes it easier to hit the ball, and when you're really just getting started, hitting the ball is going to be the main objective because it's really hard. Rocket League's a really difficult game, so yeah, dodging into the ball, good way to start. I don't think we need to say anything more about this one, Jack, because I think most of you guys are probably already at this level already, so let's just go on. For silver, and this one actually will have a lot more. I think this is kind of silver plus. You know, honestly, all ranks should probably be considering doing this, and that's chipping the ball. So not dodging into the ball. So bronze, we want to flip into the ball to actually hit it. Silver plus, now that we've got a bit more aim and a bit better timing, so we can arrive at the ball when it bounces and get a nice chip on it, consider chipping the ball. And seriously, a lot of you guys, all the way up to honestly pretty high rating, should probably consider doing this when you're at an awkward angle, awkward kind of ball that you aren't confident you're going to be able to get power into. For example, if the ball's rolling to you, it can be quite difficult to flip into it at the right time to generate maximum power. It's a lot easier when the ball's rolling across at an angle. If the ball's rolling away from you, it can actually be quite hard to flip into it at the right time and generate power as well. So if it's rolling away from you or towards you, then you might want to actually consider doing this at even higher rank than silver to get that arc, to get that loft. I'll quickly intervene because the higher ranked players will be watching this and going, what the hell are they saying here? There's no way I'm ever doing this. The reason for it is because you can very quickly recover from something like this, into, if you're more mechanical than me, Jesus, sorry, into kind of wave dash, there you go, and carry on. So what Johnny said is correct, even for the high rank players. Simplifying certain things and chipping stuff like that is useful, but especially at silver, just because getting any type of height change, elevation change on the ball is going to be one of the most scary things a silver player would have seen in their Rocket League life, basically. It's like a critical hit, basically. You chip the ball, it's that's super effective. It would be very, very difficult. That's right. The only thing I'll say for this is, single jump into it. I think that's really useful. I think as well, chipping it and breaking after is very useful to hold your position instead of chipping it and going, really far forward. It does the same thing to the ball. They both hit the crossbar, but now I'm here instead of being, behind the ball if I break here. And, now I can carry on going again and miss the open net. But moving on to gold, Johnny, what have we got? Yeah, so let's talk about half volleys, because gold plus, this is again, half volleys are probably, if you're not good at half volleys at any rank, I'd say maybe this is the prio number one at every rank, but we're going to introduce a new mechanic at every rank in this video, we're going to rely on you guys to identify whether you've skipped something and add that to your game as well. Yeah, half volleys, hitting the ball after it bounces, it just gives you so much power, so much accuracy, and it's good for hard clears, shots, passes, any kind of situation in the game. When you realize you've got the time to let the ball bounce, you very often should, and a lot of players won't do this. They'll rush the ball, they'll just go to the ball as quickly as they can, holding boost, and they'll arrive at the ball right before it bounces. That makes the hit so much more difficult. It is possible, and sometimes it's advisable to just go faster to win the race to the ball. But if you do have time to wait for the bounce, it can give you such a much more reliable, hard, and effective quality hit on it. Absolutely, yeah. Like Johnny said, we wanted to do one, per rank. We didn't want to just include multiple per rank. If we could, half volleys, That would be it now.
Yeah, half volleys are just the best to get good at, because players aren't very good at it, even if they think they are. They're always missing power on it. They don't have it down consistently. Sometimes they just completely mess up the timing. If you can get good at this and get consistent at it, it is gonna serve you right up until until your last game in Rocket League. Basically, it's gonna be really useful. So definitely get good at that. The tips I have for this is, I'd say the main tip actually is taking kind of a wide angle into the ball. Every time you see me about to, go for a half volley, I'm taking a wide angle. Jesus. Nice. I just missed the ball. Wide angle, and then we're going into the ball. There we go. Wide angle, turn into it. So just giving yourself that a bit more time, a little bit of a circle into the ball rather than cutting it super quick and making it harder for yourself and more awkward. The only other thing I'll say, Johnny, is that some players will benefit from turning ball cam off right as they hit the ball. They can get that timing down a little bit better on their flip.
Right.
That is a little bit higher level. It's especially for shooting. It can help you with slight kind of last second turns into the shot. But yeah, try it out on basically any half volley too. But yeah, this is extremely useful because Johnny, it doesn't take much boost to do, and it puts the ball really high and really hard into opponents' extremely awkward positions, like above their head on the backboard. And you've used about 12 boosts to do that, and then you can score an open net because they've missed. So definitely practice that a lot.
Yeah, this is like honestly like a classic. Just the opponents look a bit awkward at a position, just half volley to the backboard.
Yeah.
And they will miss a lot of the time, even at a much higher rank than you guys expect. They will keep missing. Definitely
at pro level, Johnny. Sorry, if someone's on, if no one's on the backboard at pro level, and you can just like smash it really high, you tell each other to play the miss if you're first man, because at pro level it's still awkward to hit a ball like that. As easy as it sounds, it is. So yeah, definitely very tough to do it at low ranks too.
And as for the type of dodge, I think diagonal and side flipping is going to be the most reliable. Front flipping into a half volley is a lot harder with the timing. It is doable, and at some angles it lines up fine and you're confident it's going to work. But diagonal flipping, and especially side flipping, will keep the nose of your car in the air, not underneath the ball, getting those kind of soft hits where you accidentally kind of just go under the ball and tap it 2 yards. So yeah, side flipping, especially when you're coming in at an angle. Diagonal flipping, if you're coming more head on, will usually give you more reliability with your half volleys. Okay, on to Plat, and we're going to change it up a little bit here because we've been doing all about hitting the ball, dodging, chipping, half volleying the ball. Now we're going to do quick flicks, because at Plat, this is the time where we want to have the ability not just to hit the ball away from ourselves, not just to generate power and get the ball moving, but also to take control of the ball just briefly and then make a move. That quick hesitation, that little moment where you hit the ball once and then hit it again, is going to bait in challenges. You're going to get goals off of this, outplays. You're going to be able to just take a moment before advancing the ball. It can be done in defense, in the midfield, in offense. And we've got a video on this exact thing in the free course for the next rank. So thenextrank.com/free. Head over there. You can check out that video alongside 2 more that we put in there. Give you a taster of what the full course is like, but also help you get better at your quick flicks, because this is, again, this is a Plat plus, as every other ground game mechanic from here on will pretty much be. You need to be working on this until much higher than Plat. I need to be working on this.
Johnny, I actually want
you
to
need to be working on this.
Yeah, because I actually had a player come into my Twitch chat. This happened a couple of times now, but as of like most recently, like 2 days ago at the time of recording this, someone come into my chat there. I think they were GC1, maybe Champ 3 or /GC1, and they were like, I don't know why, that quick flicks video helped me a ton. Even though it's aimed at very, kind of a foundational rank, it's very, very useful, because players just, I think this guy wasn't diagonal dodging or side flipping on a lot of his flicks, and he was, I don't know, he was always air rolling or something, and he was always speed flipping on his flicks and stuff like that. So a lot of high level players actually have a few bad habits that they can correct by kind of taking themselves down a lower level if they're if our egos can handle it, because sometimes we don't want to, we don't want to go down and admit we're bad at something that we should be good at. But if if you can, it can be very useful to go back. So yeah, quick flicks at Plat, very, very useful, especially because, like you said, players will get baited in by that first touch, and then any type of like height change, especially to the backboard or even to the top corner, is going to be really, really hard to defend. Even in the midfield, extremely hard to defend. It's going to make players become backwards to the ball because they've gone to you and then they have to quickly turn around. And it's much harder to defend that position than it is to attack into it. So yeah, definitely recommend this one.
Yeah, and think about this and all the other things in this video as if you're at the rank or above, then you either should already know how to do this to a pretty high level, or it's time to revisit it, because we've noticed, and we keep saying this, we're going to keep saying it, with the next rank course, so many high-rated players, GCs, SSLs, and some players pushing 2K and above, they're reporting back to us that the things that have helped them the most are the foundational skills. It's not super high-tech niche mechanics. It's the basics. It's the foundational skills like this. And there's no point in the game where this stops being useful. Just like half volleys, just like chipping the ball. These things continue to be useful, and you need to continue working on them. So if you've done this in the past, but it's been a while, definitely go back into it, and not just in free play, also in game. Actually use this, and you'll start to notice situations where it is incredibly effective that you might not have even known about.
Absolutely. The last thing, sorry, Johnny, I apologize, but the last thing I want to quickly say is that ones players have a really difficult time transitioning into threes because they don't flick quick enough. Especially, this was more apparent in the past when ones players were very, very good on the ground. Now, high-level ones players are just good everywhere, in the air, on the ground, everywhere. But it's still quite applicable because ones players, high-level players trying to go into Pro 3s, for example, they don't realize that they don't have as much time as they do in ones. They just have a first man from the other team absolutely rushing them in every single situation. So when they get the ball in their corner, they take their time and then they dribble and then they get dunked. You know what I mean? So they have to learn how to basically quickly pop it up and go fast basically every time like that. And it can be extremely useful even at the high rank like Johnny said. But yeah, go on to the next one, Johnny. Sorry to cut you off there.
All good. Okay, so diamond time, and once again, we're going to say it, this is diamond and above, so don't ever stop doing this. It's bounce dribbling. Bounce dribbling is an incredible skill to be able to do. It gives you so much more versatility than other types of dribbling, namely the rolling ball dribble or the ball carry. Although those things are useful, if I were to pick one, it would be bounce dribbling, because bounce dribbling, you can change angle, you can change the height of the ball, and you also just have more shooting options. You can shoot the ball, you can quickly catch and flick it using your quick flick that you've learned at the previous rank. You can, drop it into a low 50, you can mind game. And being able to just get the ball moving like this is actually very difficult. It's not an easy thing to do, especially if you play, actually for the first time in this video, it's worth mentioning probably the car choices. The Fennec and the Octane are going to be the main popular cars, are good for this because the taller hitbox makes it more likely that you actually hit the ball when you're trying to bounce dribble it by tapping it after the bounce. Just a little tap after the ball bounces. But of course it's doable in longer cars like the Dominus or the Batmobile or anything. But it will be a bit harder, and you'll have to hit the ball at a different angle, or otherwise you're just going to get more of a chip on it than Jack does here with the Fennec. But yeah, definitely recommend, if you want to get really good at this, Fennec or Octane initially will give you an easier entry level to bounce dribbling.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, bounce dribbling is, like Johnny said, gives you way too many options for it to not be put in this video, and especially at high ranks, it's very useful. Johnny, our next one for champ is actually off the back of this, I think, right?
Yeah, it is.
If you want to lead us into that, it's very close. It's very similar to this.
Yeah, and right as I do that, consider this spacing. Right now we're in free play, but imagine there's an opponent. One of the reasons bounce dribbling is good is because you can hit the ball into a spot where you can get to it before the opponent does. So if they're backing off really far, you can hit a bigger bounce or hit the ball into a bigger bounce. If they're super close, you can hit tiny little bounce dribbles, like little ones, and then still get a big shot off the back of it, which does lead us, like Jack said, to our champ skill, our champ mechanic, which is the side flip, flick, or shot. And the reason I say or is because there's going to be a blurred line where it's kind of a flick, kind of a shot, a bit of both. And this is something you're going to need to bounce dribble to set up, mostly. So you get your bounce dribble going, and then you're just going to get under the ball and side flip that, a bit more of a flick on that one, which is fine. Doesn't really matter which it is. But yeah, if you cut into the ball and then you hit it, it's going to look more like a flick. If you just hit the ball outright, it's going to look more like a shot. But the reason we want to side flip into these is to generate that upward part of the shot, to get the ball up in the air. If we don't, then if we diagonal dodge or front flip, the nose of our car is going to dive underneath the ball, and you're not going to get anywhere near as much power. But yeah, like Jack said, these are going to work hand in hand, so you can kind of practice them together. If you want something else to do off of your bounce dribble, you can look to hit side flip shots and flicks.
Definitely, yeah. The key to this one, I would say, is not going too kind of quickly. Like you see, if you're just diving underneath the ball, you're going too fast. There's a little bit of a I'd say a pause after your first jump when you kind of get this first jump before second jump, and you can get that height by going more underneath the ball. If you want to kind of more underneath the ball, you're going to get way more height, and if you want a little bit of a shot, you need to be a bit more behind the ball. So keep that in mind when you go for these kind of side flip flicks / shots. But yeah, very, very useful, I think, as well, because it teaches you to come at the goal from an angle, Johnny. I think that's honestly the main reason why these types of shots are so effective, because it's way harder to defend when your opponent's dribbling at you at an angle. Harder to defend that type of shot than it is going down the middle of the pitch. And yeah, this can be very useful as well. Like, a lot of these go into the backboard in twos. Our teammates just following that up.
That's great. Yeah,
it's like that's the thing. You can generate so much height from a position like this, which is more useful in team game modes than it is by just getting it underneath the bar. Of course, if you're in a 1v1 position, you want to be able to just kind of score it and keep it underneath the bar. But in twos, that's really useful. But yeah, in ones, you can just go for that kind of power type of side flip shot off the end of the bounce dribble, and you're just going to be scoring this type of shot like over and over again in ones if you're just getting good at it. So yeah, extremely useful here.
And notice as well, as Jack's practicing these, spot the recovery every time. Very natural recovery to the back post. So another thing that makes this such an effective shot is that your recovery is usually going to be good. This time we're in and out of the opponent's net. But you keep your direction, you keep your momentum. So you're not going to lose on counterattacks as much as if you flick in a different way and land in the post. It is possible to land in the post, but usually it's easy to recover out of these. It's also worth mentioning, while you practice these, if you're new to it, or even if you're not, sometimes you'll drop the dribble. I think Jack's done it a couple times while talking. It happens. That's not the end of the world either. A bounce dribble is not, it doesn't have to be the same bounce every time. No. And the type of side flip shot or flick that you get off of it is also adjustable as a result. So if you drop the dribble into a rolling ball, you accidentally kill the bounce in your approach, that's fine. You can still actually hit a side flip shot to the bottom corner, and because you're now hiding behind the ball, it can be really difficult for the opponent to calculate that angle. It's such a good shot. Actually, I do this on purpose quite often. I won't even bother with the bounce dribble element. I'll just roll the ball. Especially a situation I like to do this is if I know someone is chasing me and to try and demo me in 2v2, and I'm in a 1v1 situation, but somebody's trying to demo me. Well, I might just roll the ball in front of me to get it accelerated more quickly and then hit a side flip shot off of the ground. Because you don't even need a bounce for this to be a massive angle change and power change to the ball. Great demonstrations by Jack as to why this works. But if you watched a goalie POV of this, it looks totally random. You just suddenly the ball accelerates. You're like, wait, what happened there? Oh, they pulled up alongside it by just a tiny bit and side flipped, and they've sent it past me. Yeah, the important thing for this type of shot, which is very useful, is like Johnny said, not going behind the ball like you just saw me there, because you're not going to get that too much.
Yeah, you have to go kind of to the side and behind to get that bit of both, an angle change. A little bit behind. Too much to behind the ball, it's just going to go forward, and too much to the side, you're just going to miss. You're not going to get that power either. So you want to still be hitting it with the nose of your car mainly. There are certain instances where you hit it with the side and it's going to work. But Johnny, the reason why defenders will struggle so much with this is because they have to cover the fake and they have to cover the low 50. So those are the two reasons why defenders will struggle to save this type of shot. You guys, might say this. Look, it's too simple. My defenders are always going to save this type of shot. I do this a ton at pro level. Even actually I want to say, when I'm playing my best, I do this a lot. Sometimes I forget to do this type of shot and type of play because it's too simple. Sometimes the simple stuff works. But yeah, if I'm in this position and my opponent is really scared of the side flip shot because they have to be, they will start to drift to that side. Once they drift to that side, they go for a low 50, and it's in because you're getting closer and closer to their net. But if they're about to challenge, side flip is the quickest type of shot you can pull off. You quickly get beside the ball, you side flip. That one wasn't the best example, but it can go past them. It's specifically good when your opponent, by the way, is on low boost and they're in this position. Or actually, even when they've just gone for the corner boost in their defense and they're still in this position. Basically, when they're sideways, it's very, very difficult because they have to be so scared of that low 50/fake type of play that they have to kill their momentum. And then once they kill their momentum, very difficult to speed back up and cover that other side of the net. So yeah, definitely practice these types of shots, these side flip shots, and you will get goals out of them.
They actually get demoed a lot as well.
Yes,
even if they do get in front of the ball, you just end up slightly in front of the ball as well and demo them. So
that is true. Yeah,
it's such a. I mean, you might be thinking, this is just classic. Some of you guys will know me. I love to talk about side flips, but in this instance, they are so effective. And there is actually one more that I want to talk about before we move on to GC. And that is also in reference to bounce dribbling. Is why we put these two together. So if you go the other way and you have a very high bounce dribble, sometimes you can get your opponent into the rhythm of expecting you to go for one more dribble on the ball, and they think you're going to dribble it one more time, let the ball bounce, and or off the ground or off the top of your car. And instead of letting it bounce one more time, you just volley it off of the top of the arc, or as it's coming down slightly, like Jack did here. And the timing difference, they think there's going to be another bounce. They see the ball coming down. They think they're safe. Suddenly, side flip, bang! It's over the
so much,
top of the defender. So yeah, another example of a side flip shot being useful. And this can be a side flip to flick as well. Some people are good enough to mid-air catch the ball and flick it in these positions. But all in all, bounce dribbling, incredibly overpowered. Combine that with side flip shots and flicks from various positions, all the positions we talked about here, and you honestly have a pretty unstoppable 1v1 arsenal right there.
I mean, Khaled literally just did this for years and was beating everyone. I swear to you, it was basically every time he would. If you guys have watched Rocket League long enough, 1v1 to know Khaled, you will know what he did. He would just attack down the angles of the pitch. If your opponent challenges you, he'll either quickly tap it and side flip over you. If you give him space, he will set up a type of shot where he will side flip and just smash the ball to the top of your net. And if you challenge him fully, he might just transition into a low 50. Because the bounce dribbles from the previous rank combined with the side flip types of shots from this rank, you can become rank 1 in the world from attacking like that over and over again. You can in ones. It is just
people still do it to this day.
Yeah, I mean,
Khaled popularized it, but this it was even like the Marky Duda style way back, and then Khaled kind of brought it back into the meta. Somebody else is going to bring it back into the meta, I'm sure. Just dominate with pure bounce dribbling. It is so good, and side flips are the main way to quickly make a move, and it works. Like we said, in 2s, 3s. We've talked about it extensively because there is so much to say, and so many good things to say. But I guess we can move on to the GC, because it's a bit of a quicker one to explain here, but a very important thing that's also going to synergize really well with everything else in this video. That is the reverse 45-degree flick. It's not always, a reverse 45-degree dodge into this. It's called the reverse 45 flick because the best ones are usually a flip where you kind of diagonal flip backwards after setting up the ball. This one, funnily enough, does work with a side flip as well if you angle it correctly, and it also does work with other directions. Because I know on keyboard you can only flip in the 8 directions, on controller you can flip 16 directions. So there's the reverse. What is it? 37.5 or whatever the degree is. I don't think that's right, but you know what I mean. There are other angles where this works, but let's just call it reverse 45. It's the laser flick, the top left, top right. Just send a screamer to the corner. This is, if you watch Moxie play these days and you see how he does it, and a couple other players as well, compare that to your average RLCS world class pro. It's a different game, and if you can get good at this, if you really get good at this, it's not really defendable. It's just
not.
too fast.
I actually used to be better than these than what I'm at now. You know, like 4 years ago, my level of like reverse 45-degree flicks has actually gotten worse because I guess in threes I've become way better at other things and not as reliant on them.
Focus.
Different focus. But if I wish I could still. I mean, I might still go and practice them to get really, really good at them again. I was, you know, when I was coming up in ones, Johnny, my flicks were insane, you know. They're still pretty decent now, but not like anywhere near the best in the world. Moxie's flick is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, reverse 45-degree, it's too good. Yeah, I'm just smashing the bar now.
Well, even from like deeper, I'm thinking it's probably not been unlocked in threes yet because nobody's doing it reliably enough. But you can do these from defense and just absolutely send it, and it's not really something that players would see coming, because the meta right now is all about pressure and trying to, you know, keep teams in defense. If you can really quickly do this, because you don't need the long setup, you can kind of just get under the ball and pull one of these off like immediately if you have the perfect timing. It's super hard to do, but that's going to be the evolution, I think, of twos and threes flicking. It's just players getting better at this.
Yeah, more power from every position. Yeah, because you can definitely get very consistent at this to be able to absolutely launch flicks. I mean, that's 108 from the halfway line, 108 kilometers. But yeah, you can get way faster than that. You can get 120. I have no footage of this. I swear to God, I scored like a 128 like flick from my half years ago, and it crossed the line at 128, and I wish I had the replay, and I've not hit like a faster one since then. I can't tell if I dreamt it, but I'm adamant I hit it. It was a long time ago now, but you can get obscene power on these types of flicks, so it's definitely the best flick to do at high level. I think there's no questions about it, really. If you can get good at this flick, the power, the consistency, the accuracy that you can get on these types of flicks are really useful. And you can just, it gives you so many options. You can slow it down and just go behind your opponent. It gives you the option, which we actually haven't put in this video, Johnny, but I'm going to throw it in there as a bonus now. It gives you massive options for delayed flicks like that. Yeah, and having to save this, from an opponent's point of view as a defender, it just didn't show us the replay.
It didn't show the replay.
Awesome.
Gutted.
It's really hard. It's really hard to save a delayed flick, because I can transition this type of delayed flick into just a low fake, into like a cut last second with a wave dash. Really, really tough stuff. So yeah, definitely reverse 45-degree flicks. Go and practice them and go and abuse them in your games, especially your ones games, because you will rank up from it.
Yeah, just simple. It's simple but effective. The last thing for me on this is that you can do them without going really fast in the approach. Going fast will make it a little bit easier to generate power, but there's more access to power from this technique than compare. I mean, I'm going to talk about it again. Side flips. If you're side flipping into a flick, you kind of need to be going fast in order to generate power. With the reverse 45-degree flick, you don't need to be going as fast, which again just gives you more versatility with it, because you're not always going to have speed. You're not always going to have the ability to generate speed or the time to generate speed if you're doing this in twos and threes. So yeah, good one to just be able to quickly launch the ball up in the air as a pass or a clear or just a outplay in general. Okay, they've all like the good example. They've all been waiting, Jack. SSL. Let's just really quickly summarize before we get into SSL. We've had dodge hits at the base level that will never leave your game. That will always be a big part of your game. Chipping the ball to kind of lob it. That will also be an underrated aspect to the game at a higher level. Half volleys, absolutely fundamental there. Quick flicks, absolutely fundamental. Bounce dribbling, again, so fundamental to the game. Side flip flicks and shots, all in one. And our 45-degree flicks, probably the most situational thing we've put in this video, but still going to be crucial. And eventually players will just all be doing this to an exceptionally high level. We're not there yet in the Rocket League meta in the world. So you're probably thinking, what's next? SSL. There must be something incredibly advanced. What's it going to be? Is this going to be new tech? Is this going to be some unrevealed, first time ever seen mechanic that Jack's just come up with himself? Well, no. Actually, we've decided for SSL, the most important ground game mechanic to being a better player, ranking up, and just overall solidifying your game is going to be the low 50. And we're not joking. I sat for a while, I was thinking about this. I was like, was there really any ground game mechanic? I'm thinking there are, harder flicks. There are more technical flicks in the game. but I don't actually think that that's what
They're not
players
better.
are missing.
No.
What's the big difference when I watch, just your average SSL, which obviously is a very good player, and the absolute best players in the world, is that the absolute best players, one, they 50-50 way more, and two, they 50-50 to a far higher level. Because players don't, I think everybody thinks about ranking up and getting better at the game as increasing difficulty, when sometimes it's actually just the simple stuff. We talk about this in the Next Rank YouTube channel a lot. We've got to get the fundamentals down. But low 50s and 50s in general are underrated mechanically. They are mechanically difficult, and Jack, I know you are a big fan of them.
Yeah, low 50s and just 50s in general. We put this here because, like Johnny said, it is a massive difference between a low SSL player and a high level pro player. It's the ability to not only win 50s, because that's not really what this is all about. It is, if you want to win a 50, you can, but it's also about placing the 50 where you need it for your team. That's really, really important in pro level, in high level. And if you can understand this, you're going to be a more efficient player moving around in not only in offense, which is mainly what this video has been about, but defense as well, Johnny. If you can get very, very good at low 50s, you're going to break out of defense way quicker, because you can bait your opponents in. Even when your team is on low boost, you can take them out of the play, and you can kind of negate that boost advantage that the other team has on you by low 50ing into certain positions, staying on the ball, because players at pretty much every rank, and even SSL, even high SSL, just fly into 50s. They just go so fast into 50s. They have no idea what's going on. And if you can get good at reading that and baiting them in, understanding what type of 50 to use in certain situations, you're going to be way ahead. Certain situations require you, the best type of 50 is to actually back off slightly and let them hit it into you. That counts as a 50. You're not jumping, you're not flipping, but it still counts as a 50. Some situations require a single jump 50. With a single jump 50, you can wave dash on landing and carry on going. Some situations require you to lose a 50. You're covering this side of the ball, and if your opponent 50s it to you, or with you, sorry, you're forcing it back left to your teammate with a 100 boost. There's a lot of situations where 50s are going to be pretty much the best thing you can learn how to do at a high level at SSL for the ground game, because everything else, Johnny, players get so good at defending in SSL. SSL it becomes a lot about how efficient can you become, how easy can you break out of certain situations, how much can you mind game your opponent into believing they need to cover one thing and taking advantage of that. So low 50s, that's what we have to say about that in my eyes.
Yeah, very underrated. Something that players love to brag about being bad at. It's something, oh yeah, my 50s are so bad. Pretty good at my double resets, and I'm pretty mechanical like that. But wow, low 50s just can't win them. And it's copium. Just get good at them. Stop stop getting outplayed by them. But all the other things in this video involve getting the ball up in the air, getting it over opponents. So this is also going to work brilliantly in synergy to all the other things. And actually, in the same way that we've stuck things on individual ranks in this video, because we think that if you're going to pick one thing at these ranks, this is what you should probably work on. This is what we think players are missing at these ranks. But you can get obviously stuck into low 50s much sooner than SSL. So don't treat this video as a barrier to learning things. The only one that I would say probably you should wait till you're a bit higher rank to do is the 45-degree flick, the reverse 45-degree flick. And that's just because the side flip flick is easier and also incredibly effective. So everything else in the video, though, you can pretty much just get stuck in as soon as you feel like you're ready to start adding it to your game, because they're all fundamentals and just things you cannot go without.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, that is going to be it for this video. You have learned what the best ground mechanic to do is at each rank. Let us know in the comments what you found most useful, which one you think is going to be most useful to your game. I just want to know what type of players we have watching these videos. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure you drop a like to the video, drop a sub to the channel, check out all of our other videos on the channel. Check out the free course. We have the quick flicks that is featured in this video in the free course, and of course check out the full course as well at thenextrank.com. We have every single thing that we've spoken about in this video, Johnny, available in that package. So make sure you guys go and check that out. As always, Hope you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.